जय गोपी जनावल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनावल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनावल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानन्दना जय व्रज जनरञ्जना। जय यशोदानन्दना जय व्रज जनरञ्जना। जय यमुनातीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय कुंज बिहारी। जय यमुनातीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री श्री राधा गोविंद देव की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतस्य सेवया Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naisthiki Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha Nanda gopakumaraya govindaya namo namaha Krishne swadhamo pagate dharmajnanadibhi saha Kalau nashtadishamesha puranarkho dunodhitaha. Hare Krishna. Today we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 12, entitled Dhruva Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead, and text number 29. Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagriyam Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagriyam Parshadavabhivandya cha Iyesha tad adhishtatum Bibhradrupam hiranmayam Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagram Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagram Parshadavabhivandya cha Iyesha tad adhishtatum Bibhradrupam hiranmayam Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagram Parshadavabhivandya cha Iyesha tad adhishtatum Bibhradrupam hiranmayam. Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagriyam Parshadav abhivandya cha Dhatum Bibhradrupam hiranmayam Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagriyam Parshadavabhivandya cha Iyesha tad adhishtatum Bibhradrupam hiranmayam Parityabhyarchya dhishnyagram Davabhivandya cha Paritya, having circumambulated. Abhyarcha, having worshipped. Dhishnya agriyam, the transcendental airplane. Parshadao, unto the two associates. Abhivandya, having offered obeisances. Cha, also. Iyesha, he attempted. Tat, that plane. Adhishtatum, to board. Bibhrat, illuminating. Rupam, his form. Hiranmayam, golden. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Before getting aboard, Dhruva Maharaj worshipped the airplane, circumambulated it, and also offered obeisances to the associates of Vishnu. In the meantime, he became as brilliant and illuminating as molten gold. He was thus completely prepared to board the transcendental plane. Purport: in the absolute world, the plane, the associates of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu himself are all spiritual. There is no material contamination. In quality, everything there is one. As Lord Vishnu is worshipable, so also are his associates, his paraphernalia, his airplane, and his abode. For everything of Vishnu's is as good as Lord Vishnu. Dhruva Maharaj knew all this very well as a pure Vaishnava, and he offered his respects to the associates and to the plane before riding in it. But in the meantime, his body changed into spiritual existence, and therefore it was illuminating like molten gold. In this way, he also became one with other paraphernalia of Vishnu Loka. Mayavadi philosophers cannot imagine how this oneness can be achieved even in different varieties. The idea of oneness is that there is no variety. Therefore, they have become impersonalists. As Shishumara, Vishnu Loka and Dhruva Loka, Vishnu Loka or Dhruva Loka are completely different from this material world. So a Vishnu temple within this world is also completely different from this material world. As soon as we are in the temple, we should know very well that we are situated differently from the material world. In the temple, Lord Vishnu, his throne, his room, and all other things associated with the temple are transcendental. The three modes, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, have no entrance into the temple. It is said, therefore, that to live in the forest is in the mode of goodness. To live in the city is in mode of passion, and to live in a brothel, liquor shop, or slaughterhouse is in the mode of ignorance. But to live in the temple means to live in Vaikuntha Loka. Everything in the temple is as worshipable as Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before getting aboard, Dhruva Maharaj worshipped the airplane, circumambulated it, and also offered obeisances to the associates of Vishnu. In the meantime, he became as brilliant and illuminating as molten gold. He was thus completely prepared to board the transcendental plane. In the previous verse, in yesterday, which was discussed, it is mentioned, Maharaj Dhruva was very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he heard the sweet speeches of Lord's chief associates in the Vaikuntha planet, he immediately took his sacred bath, dressed himself with suitable ornaments, performed his daily spiritual duties. Thereafter, he offered his respectful obeisances to the great sages present there and accepted their blessings. Hare Krishna. So, as we conclude Dhruva Maharaj's storyline, as the perfection of life, Dhruva Maharaj is going back home, back to Godhead. So, in the same line, of course, of all Mahatmas, they go back home, back to Godhead. But we can learn a lot from Dhruva Maharaj, that why or what were his qualifications that he went back home, back to Godhead. See, as Dhruva Maharaj is preparing to board the Vaikuntha airplane, Dhruva did not think, finally it is me, amongst all these sages present here, it was I who could at least be the first amongst these fellows to go back home, back to Godhead. He was not proud. So therefore it is mentioned that Dhruva immediately went and offered his obeisances to all the great sages present there. It is also mentioned that Dhruva, as he saw the Vaikuntha airplane come and it landed, he offered his, what is it mentioned? Parshadau Abhivandecha, something like that, isn't it? That means he's offering his obeisances first to the Parshads. And then he is offering respects to the airplane also. He didn't think this is just another object. He's touching it, circumambulating it. Paritya, what is the next word? Abhyarcha. Paritya means to circumambulate, abhyarcha is to worship. What is he circumambulating and worshipping? The airplane. And Prabhupada very nicely mentions it is because anything that is connected with Krishna attains the nature of Krishna with respect to its spiritual potency. Of course, Advai Satchitanand. But anything that is also used for the purpose of the Supreme Lord attains its sacredness. So therefore, this mic stand is not the same as any other mic stand. You might have purchased the same mic stand, multiple might have been purchased, bought from the same store. But this mic stand is special because used for speaking Harikatha. Similarly, this table stand is special because it is used to hold Bhagavatam, isn't it? Similarly, this TV is special because we study the verses on top of it. This iPad is special because my notes are here, isn't it? So in this way, anything that is used for the purpose of propagating Krishna consciousness attains its sacredness. Whereas the same object in the material world has nothing spiritual importance attached to it. In the material world, for example, me and mine becomes sacred, isn't it? In the spiritual realm, Krishna and anything connected to Krishna, that is Krishna and Krishnas, become sacred. Once in, I think it was Australia who won the World Cup in cricket. And India lost in semi-finals or at least I think finals. Somewhere, but India lost. So then a few days later, there was news on in the TV. They were saying how the Australian cricketers were relaxing and keeping their feet on the trophy. You have seen that? In India, it's a big thing. So they were saying at least we Indians, we wouldn't have dealt with the trophy in this way. We would have considered it, something very special. Because it is our trophy, our national trophy. So therefore, their sacredness is attached to what belongs to me, that means mine. So aham mameti, that becomes very sacred for a materialistic person. I was thinking it is an object. Trophy is just an object. What importance does it have? But they find it very sacred. So similarly, the devotees find anything that is to do with Krishna to be very sacred. Prabhupada says in the spiritual realm, everything attains its oneness with Krishna. Krishna is supreme Lord, worthy of all attention, worthy of all worship and prayers. Similarly, those things that are connected with Krishna is also equally worthy. So when we look at the paraphernalia of in the temple, we don't deal the same way we would deal elsewhere. As soon as you come inside the temple, how do you come? You first knock the door, letting know, I'm entering. Similarly, as soon as we, right after that, we offer obeisances to all the Vaishnavas present. And then we offer particular obeisances to the Param Vaishnava present, Sri Prabhupada. And then we, greet all the Vaishnavas, we offer obeisances to the lordships. And then it is mentioned in the, Vaishnava etiquette manual. We don't speak in high tone, chastising someone in front of the deities. We don't talk about prajalpa. We don't talk prajalpa. We don't talk about our own lives inside the temple hall. Because then we are considering ourselves very important. We don't wear clothes that are in very bright colors in front of the deities. Otherwise it is like showing oneself to be more attractive than the Lord. Isn't it? Like there's so many things are mentioned. Anyway, why these things are mentioned? It is because to emphasize the importance of a sacred location. Which Prabhupada says, being in the temple is not, it is completely transcendental to being in the material world. Even being in nature is still in mode of goodness. But being in temple is in mode of transcendence, Shuddha Sattva. So, in our daily lives as devotees, we come across so many things. Just for example, a cushion. Someone may think, this is just a cushion, and give it a kick into its post, isn't it? So, that cushion is also energy of the Supreme Lord. Say for example, Kana Gopal Prabhu is wearing a sweater. So, say he has kept his sweater here. So I take the sweater and I stamp on it. How will you feel, Prabhu? Ecstatic. Because Prabhu only sees good in everyone. So generally, how people feel, how people like me feel, who are not so advanced, if anyone touches even our bead bag and puts it aside, immediately we tell, hey Prabhu, who asked you to touch my bead bag? Isn't it? Someone stamps on our possessions, we feel offended. Isn't it? Why? Because we connect with our paraphernalia. Our paraphernalia is our energy. Just like Prabhupada was once asked, Prabhupada, how do we remember Krishna all the time? Prabhupada immediately pointed to his shoes and he asked, what do you see? Then the devotee said, I see your shoes, Prabhupada. As soon as you see my shoes, what do you remember? Then the devotee said, I immediately remember you. So Prabhupada said, in the same way, as soon as you're in the temple, this is all energy of Krishna. Energy of Krishna and Krishna, they are non-different. What is that? Shakti, Matayor Abheda. Shakti, Matayor Abheda. There is no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. There is no difference between energy and energetic. So in the same line, as soon as we come to the temple hall of the Supreme Lord, we are not in. It's not that this hall is separate from the altar. This hall is meant for pleasure of the lordships, isn't it? So therefore, whatever paraphernalia we may deal with respect to the Lord, for example, say the cushions, mic stand, TV, this one set of paraphernalia. The musical instruments. There are some mridanga players I've seen, they intensely pray before playing the mridanga. Why? Because they feel, I should not enjoy this. This is meant for Krishna's pleasure. Sometimes we vent out our passion on the mridanga. It's not like that. We have to... Playing the mridanga is also a kind of worship for the Supreme Lord. So then musical instruments come. Then Krishna Prasadam. We don't waste Krishna Prasadam. We can give it to outside people. Or we only take little. You can go and take 10 times, But if you go once and filled up the plate and you cannot eat, then it's aparad to the prasadam, Krishna prasad. Or commenting about prasadam, oh, this is burnt prasadam. Oh, this is stale prasadam. Isn't it? So in this way we offend the Lord because it is His paraphernalia. It is there is remnants. And so prasadam, what else? Even the devotees who come to this temple, people outside who come to this temple, they're all Radha Govinda's guests. That means we show respect to them by facilitating their darshan with the Lord. That means for that you have to keep the temple hall clean. Otherwise they will not have good experience. We have to have some prasadam for them when they come, so that they feel fulfilled. They traveled all the way and they don't get prasadam. Then they have to go outside looking for karmic greens. Or we can also offer them water, some kind words, some good hospitality. So all these things are the way we take care of Radha Govinda's guests, new people. So you can see even them in connection with Krishna immediately in our eyes, we can offer respect. And apart from that, of course, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnor Aradhanam Param. Shiva is telling Parvati of all kinds of worship, Vishnu worship is supreme. But beyond Vishnu worship, there is one thing. What is that? Tadiyanam Samarchanam. Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samarchanam. That means Lord Shiva is telling Parvati, even superior to worship of Vishnu is a worship of his Tadiya. Here, with respect to Tadiya, is being spoken about devotees. So, with respect to devotees, again, we have to maintain Vaishnava etiquettes. So, why are these things being mentioned? Because in the Vaidhi stage, we carry the materialistic conditioning even when we come into the temple. Isn't it? How we were when we were materialist, the same thing comes as we are becoming devotees. It's not a problem. It is not a problem because we are under the shower of chanting Shravanam Kirtanam. So we will get cleansed. But in the meantime, certain rules and restrictions are placed just because we are not used to it. We are not used to bowing down to anyone in the material world. We are used to making others bow down. Isn't it? We are not used to offering respect to anyone. We are accustomed to receiving respect. We are not accustomed to offering obeisances. So all these things are completely new to us. But what are we accustomed to? We are accustomed to barging in. We are accustomed to showing disrespect. We are accustomed to dominating others. So these things have to be changed. See, imagine Dhruva, when the airplane landed, he just barged into the airplane without showing any respect. How does it look? So therefore, the Parshad, the Vaikuntha Vasis, the servants of Vishnu, they came to take Dhruva. Why? Because he had completely transformed his character into a Vaishnava character. What is that Vaishnava character? You can just observe his qualities. His qualities are that of gratitude. His qualities are that of humility. See, when the plane especially came for him to take him to the spiritual world, immediately he feels, I'm not deserving all of this. And therefore, so much of exhibition of respect is there. Because he feels, I'm not worthy. My spiritual master has one lecture. The title of the lecture is, Gratitude is the Womb of Humility. That means a grateful heart is the place from where humility is born. And without humility, trinadapi sunechena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. You cannot chant all the time. It requires humility. But even where is humility born? That is in a grateful heart. When we can count our blessings and feel that what I am getting in my life, I am not worthy of it. If that particular one devotee did not, come and give me the book, or he did not come and take me to the temple, or reveal to me the glories of chanting the holy name, where would I have been? If you ask me, I would have anyway, I think, been in the US, but in a completely different style. I would have been studying my masters and going behind Puja La Pratishtha here. But some Vaishnava came into my life. He took me to the temple, took me to the association of devotees, and the course of my life changed. So when we count our blessings and see what else could have been the course of my life otherwise, immediately we can become grateful, understanding that I am not deserving of all of this. So when we understand that these things, we should not take for granted. For example, how many people, even devotees staying outside, can get the opportunity to wake up early in the morning and come for Mangalarti? Very rare. There's so many students who I'm in touch with, they want to come and stay in association of devotees. They are missing Mangalarti. They are missing singing and chanting, dancing in the Mangalarti time. But what can they do? They can only pray for it. But we are in such a fortunate position that we are put in a place where these things happen daily. But the danger of that is sometimes we take it for granted. That's another danger. So when we take things that are given easily for granted, then we lose respect for them. Like, see, if you are always surrounded by a spiritual master, initially, yes, my spiritual master, and he is like this, and different pastimes, I'm able to see how he's dealing with the world and different situations. His just Vaishnava qualities are just coming out. Then later on, one also sees, okay, what is so special about him? I eat, he also eats. I sleep, he also sleeps. I snore at night, he also snores at night. One starts looking at the negative aspects or just the human aspects. And that's when Gurushu Naramatir, it is said. Then even if someone is on a completely spiritual platform, one brings him down to our platform, material platform. And that's where even the spiritual objects lose their sacredness. Isn't it? So this is all, the problem is basically due to the vision. From spiritual vision, our consciousness has come down to materialistic vision. And why materialistic vision? This materialistic vision is due to the past conditionings, because we have been in the material world for a long time. Because we have been in the material world for a long time, the attitudes we have cultivated, they're completely different. It's an exploitative attitude. Don't you think so? Wherever we go, even as before becoming devotees, even if we come to temple, we come with the exploitative mentality. That means, what can the temple do for me? The temple must give prasad, so I'll go at prasadam time only. Nothing wrong, but it is still an exploitative mentality. One comes to temple for one's own, feel of peace in mind. I just want to feel peace, or sometimes Indians, we just feel, I want to feel very pious. So I go to temple. Not necessarily to develop my connection with Krishna. That's too far-fetched. Or wherever we go, we are always thinking, what's in it for me? WIIFM. That FM radio is continuously going, what's in it for me? Wherever we put the living entity, he's thinking, what's in it for me? It is all about me. So those attitudes and conditionings we are bringing from past material life into spiritual life. And that's where the problem comes. And one sannyasi said, when I came in touch with Prabhupada and his books, I was so thrilled hearing about going back home, back to Godhead, and leading such a pure lifestyle of Vaishnava and everything. But later I was little disappointed. Why? He said, because later on I understood, if I have to attain this perfection of going back home, back to Godhead, I have to go through the devotees, through the devotee association only. Otherwise it's not possible. And in devotee association, what happens? We have to bend our ego. No one wants to bend the ego. The false ego is very dear to our heart. Even if someone gives a good correction with all good intent, still we cannot take it. Why? Who are you to give me correction? That is the mentality. So therefore, if we want to make progress in spiritual life, we need to work on these attitudes. What attitudes? The materialistic vision, the enjoyment, the tendency to enjoy. The tendency to enjoy is so strong, so deep-rooted, that one is always thinking that, as we said, what's in it for me? And that is materialistic vision. What is spiritual vision? Spiritual vision is what's in it for Krishna. What's in it for his devotees. There are two completely, opposite sides of the diameter. Two different poles. So, if we want to move from materialistic vision to spiritual vision, what should we do? We have to change these attitudes. And therefore you will find if we want to come to the platform of spontaneous devotional service, that is what the program is, Prabhupada's program. As we practice Vaidhi Bhakti, we are all Vaidhi Bhakti, sadhakas. So we are practicing Vaidhi Bhakti in the fold of Raganuga Bhakti. That means we want to get there. The vision is still there. So therefore in Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani it is explained that while we are practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, the goal is still Raganuga Bhakti. And therefore Tulsi Arti also we pray. Sevadhikara. Before, what is that line? E nivedana dharo, sakhir anugata koro. That means we are looking for the association of the gopis, the sakhis in Golok Vrindavan. But it will not be, done artificially. It has to be done as we convert our mentality from enjoying mentality to serving mentality. Enjoyership to service attitude. Isn't it? Why? Because Raganuga platform is not some sort of a fantastical idea that you get to enjoy with Krishna. It's not that. That is very sahajic. What is Raganuga platform? The service attitude is so deep. And this you'll understand when you study the Srimad Bhagavatam. Look at the devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam. Be it of any rasa. All these pure devotees. Ambrish Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj. Now Dhruva Maharaj. The gopis in Vrindavan. All these devotees you take in every canto, devotees are mentioned. Parikshit, by the time he was, Shukadeva Goswami was about to begin 10th canto, he asked him, are you feeling some thirst or hunger? Maybe you want to take some rest? He said, not at all. Do you know the verse for it? In 10th canto it comes. Yeah, Nivritti Tarshe Rupaniyamana. Then? Yeah. There is this one, there's one more. Correct. This is one, Nivritta Tarshya. Yes, that is the one. Yeah, Chitam Hari Katamritam. So that Parikshit is telling Shukadeva Goswami, please go on narrating these pastimes because I am not feeling any hunger or thirst. I am not feeling the material pangs of hunger and thirst just because I am drinking the Hari Katamritam, the nectar of Harikatha. You see, look at the character of Parikshit. See again, Parikshit. Again, Shukadeva Goswami. It's not that only Parikshit was staying awake all night, only hearing and not drinking, not eating. Even Shukadeva Goswami, he is continuously speaking, but he is not tired of speaking. Because he is speaking on a complete pure devotion platform. So in this way, if we want to change our attitude, we need to change our enjoying mentality. In this material world, you will see, in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Krishna bahir mukha hoya bhogavancha kare, nikadasta maya tare jhapati adhare. It is said that as soon as one becomes averse to Krishna, Krishna bahir mukh, then immediately Maya is present. What does Maya do? Immediately, as soon as you turn away from Krishna, Maya captures you. So therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, an interesting verse is mentioned in 7th chapter. Ichchadvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. Krishna tells Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, please understand, as the living entities enter this material creation, as soon as the material creation is there are two types of moha, two types of illusion. Ichchadvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata. One is the dvandva moha, and second one is sarva bhutani sammoham, and the second one is sammoham. Two mohas. That means sammoha means the totality of moha, illusion, and the dvandva moha is illusion due to dualities. So, Krishna is telling Arjuna, as soon as you enter material creation, as soon as material world is there, sammoham means you're entering a world of illusion. What is that world of illusion? What is so illusory about this material world? One thing is that everything is temporary. But more importantly, in the spiritual realm, one is thinking Krishna to be the enjoyer. Here we think I am the enjoyer. That is sammoha. Thinking that oneself to be the enjoyer, one enters this material world, and as soon as he interacts with the material object, ichchadvesha samuthena. That is dvandva moha. So first he is entering a world of illusion, then he enters and interacts with the material world. That interaction results in dualities. So these are two moha. And therefore, being in the illusion that, while thinking that I am the enjoyer, everything belongs to me, people are working very hard trying to possess. Because we all want to possess so many things, just because once we have it in our possession, we can enjoy it. When we don't have it in our possession, then how can you enjoy it? Therefore, there is a strong drive to possess, isn't it? This tendency to possess, this is why people are working hard. You see, when the people are working hard in the material world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says they're working so hard, it inspires me to work similarly hard for Krishna. The materialistic people are working so hard. They hardly sleep 4 hours. I met one student working in a very top consultant, BCG, Boston Consulting Group, something like that. He is working in that top company. He was saying he only sleeps 3 to 4 hours. I mean, he's saying with that pride, Prabhu, by the way, I only sleep 3 to 4 hours. And you should listen to his austerities. I gave him a plate of prasad. He told me he doesn't take sweets because it slows him down. He doesn't take grains because it's heavy to digest. Again, he cannot just maintain his sleep of 3 to 4 hours. He is performing austerities. But his austerities are completely meant to satisfy his own senses. Like Hiranyakashipu, he is also performing a lot of austerities. But for what? His purpose of austerities is for his own selfish purposes. Dhruva is performing austerities under guidance of Narada to attain Lord Vishnu. What was the result of that? Kachin vichinvan apidivya ratnam swamin kritartosmi varam nayachik. Dhruva said that I don't want that kingdom which has now become to me just some pieces of glass. Why? Because I found a blue sapphire like you. But Hiranyakashipu, as he performed his austerities without any guidance, with his own selfish purposes, he became more demoniac. Both are performing austerities. One became saintly, one became demoniac. And what is the result? And there's a verse in 7th canto is mentioned. Something nirjita kakup, like that it starts. And finally it is said that finally, after controlling everything in this material world, the 3 worlds, he still did not attain satisfaction. What is Dhruva's austerity? He met Lord Vishnu and he was so satisfied spiritually, he said, I don't want anything else. And Lord Vishnu saw this. Because Dhruva is spiritually satisfied, even if I give him anything material, of course Dhruva Loka is Vishnu Loka, but even if I give him a big grand kingdom, he will not become proud. Because he is spiritually, he's completely on a spiritual platform. His consciousness is way different. So such a devotee, you give him material objects, he will not misutilize. Such a devotee you can give him position, he will serve in that position. You give him material objects, he'll use those objects for Krishna's pleasure, for devotee's pleasure. You make him a leader, he'll become a servant leader. Otherwise, today in corporate circles, they have this artificial servant leadership. Whereas in the truth of the matter is no one wants to become a servant. But if you don't accept that post, you cannot become a leader or you cannot get that promotion. So you accept, yes, I'm a servant leader. No one wants to serve. They only want to enjoy. Sometimes we cooperate in the material world. Why? Because in that cooperation I can enjoy. You will give me a peace of mind, I'll give you a peace of mind. You give me a break, I'll give you a break. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And therefore they cooperate. Therefore they are very moral. Therefore they are very polite. When I was small, I grew up in outside India. So when I would travel to India, I would sit in the airplane and this air hostess would come. And she would greet me with such warmth and polite words. Hi, how are you? Is everything okay? And she would speak like that. I thought, wow, she is such a nice person. Later on, as I grew up, I understood she only speaks such words when she's paid. Once her salary stops, you think she'll continue speaking like that? She will get all the frustration out on me, isn't it? So people in this material world look very gentlemanly, but the truth of the matter is, at heart, they're just thinking how I can enjoy. So the problem comes as soon as we come to this material world, as soon as we come to the temple, there are rules and restrictions put in place to check this materialistic attitude, because this is what we want to purify. Sometimes an ecstatic Mangalarti is happening, the deities are here, everyone is dancing joyously, and then, I'm not talking about senior devotees, but sometimes people with energy sitting on the corner looking at the phone. It's not a very nice thing to do, isn't it? Why? Because the deities are present here. We have to be dancing for their pleasure. Or sometimes japa is going on, but then we go out and we are in our own chanting our own goals, separate goals. Whereas chanting of the japa is happening. All Hansu Prabhu is present, Ramana Prabhu is chanting here, Maharaj is chanting here, and all the Vaishnavas are chanting. But sometimes we go and we are talking Prajalpa there, we are doing some other service. Why? Because the tendency of enjoyment is too deep-rooted. Sometimes other thing that happens is, any service we take up, we are glad to take it up in japa time. Because japa you can always do elsewhere. If we want to take service outside japa time, what happens? Then the time you get after 9 o'clock, that is my time. I get to do what I want to do. So therefore, that is real austerity to actually take up service at that time. Don't you agree? So generally, when we have to do anything, we do it during the morning program. Because that time I'm anyway supposed to give it to Krishna. So might as well add a few things more. Why? Because between 9 to whenever, that is my time. I get to do what I want. This is also, again, what's in it for me. So generally, these are the tendencies. See, to have these tendencies is not wrong. To have material desires is not wrong. But to be attached to them when Krishna is taking them away, that is wrong, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice if we have some nice time for ourselves after 9 o'clock, no problem. But if seva comes after 9, one has to be ready. That means one is purifying. And you will see that it is a struggle. It is a struggle to give that time to Krishna. Why? Because we are attached to it. It is my time. And that struggle is the purification of the enjoying mentality. That struggle purifies enjoying mentality straight. And therefore there is a struggle. Because purification is not easy. Purification of heart is not easy. But as more and more time we spend in the association of devotees, in the programs Srila Prabhupada has given us, we are purifying our conditions, we are purifying our conditionings, we are purifying our attitudes, we are purifying our heart. We are purifying our heart of anarthas. Why? Because Krishna, Shri Radha Krishna can be installed in a pure place, not in a dirty place. So more we spend our time together chanting Hare Krishna, together hearing Krishna Katha, more we are not in the world of illusion. Prabhupada says, even though the parks and gardens are in mode of goodness, even though the cities are in mode of passion, and brothels and liquor houses and slaughterhouses are in mode of ignorance, still a temple, wherever it may be, is in transcendence. How is that possible? It is only possible to the degree we have cultivated spiritual vision. It is in transcendence, but to the degree you understand this is the house of Shri Radha Govinda. Otherwise it is not in transcendence. Even if it is, we cannot perceive it. And therefore, I'll just share you. In the purport, Prabhupada writes this statement, very nice statement. As Lord Vishnu is worshipable, so also are his associates. his paraphernalia, his airplane and his abode. For everything of Vishnu's is as good as Lord Vishnu. And then he says, Dhruva Maharaj knew all this very well as a pure Vaishnava. See? That means more and more we become pure, and this is what as sadhakas we want to attain. This is our aspiration, to become pure in heart. Pure in heart means whatever we do, anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. Whatever we do, it is favorable for our Krishna consciousness. Whatever we do, we want to please Krishna and his devotees. In that mindset, we can offer respect to everyone. Even a worm in stool, we can offer respect. Why? Because we see that is also part and parcel of Krishna. What bad karma it had done, we don't know. That it had to land up there. But we can respect everyone. A bum on the street, you can respect. You may not go close. When Krishna says in the 5th chapter, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Shuni Cheva Shupakicha Pandita Samadarshana. A wise learned person is one, that person who can see everyone equally. Why? Because he doesn't see the body. With respect to body, you see me and my brother are twins, still our fingerprint is different. So when you come to bodily consciousness, everything is different. Difference lies in bodily consciousness. Whereas on spiritual platform, everything is one in quality. But to be able to see the oneness, that everything belongs to Krishna, we have to come to spiritual consciousness. Isn't it? So therefore, if we want to respect, in the 5th chapter, when Krishna says this, even though everyone is one with respect to quality, it is also mentioned that it doesn't mean we have to deal at the same level. I offer my prostrated dandavats to sannyasi, and to a new bhakta who's coming, I may not offer. So does it mean there is difference? There is difference in oneness. What is that difference, and why is that difference required? Just like a cow in India you invite into the home, increases auspiciousness. Say a dog comes, generally in India you don't allow it inside the home. Or say a tiger, you can say Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, everyone is, Pandita Samadarshana, look at everyone equally. But a tiger, can you go and embrace a tiger? Saying equal treatment? No. You can embrace a cow, but not a tiger. So while we see everyone equally, we deal differently, or you can say we deal accordingly. With senior devotees, we offer respect, obeisances. We seek instructions and we seek their blessings. With equal devotees, we don't boast, but we encourage. With equal devotees, we seek their friendship and we spend time together growing in Krishna consciousness. With juniors, we show compassion and help them grow in their Krishna consciousness. So like this difference, there will be difference in dealing, but Prabhupada is emphasizing on how we have to be careful in dealing with anything that is property of Vishnu. Vishnu and Vishnus have to be dealt at the same level with respect to spiritual material dealings. And then Prabhupada mentions about, as soon as we are in a temple, we should know we are completely situated in a different setting from the material world. So by doing this, our goal, which is, if we work on our attitudes, our past conditioning, we want to purify all of them, so that we are inching closer towards Krishna. We are going close to serving the Supreme Lord, going back home, back to Godhead, not to relax there. One devotee was talking about going back home, back to Godhead. Another devotee got up and said, Prabhu, but that is also selfish. It is not selfish. It is selfish if you think you're going back home, back to Godhead to relax and have some enjoyment. You will have apsaras to serve you. Completely wrong understanding. We're going back home, back to Godhead to engage in 24-hour service, because the material body has its limitations. Material body has to sleep. Material body has to go past stool. Then you have to take bath. Material body has to eat. So much of waste of time. When we had a program with Jayadut Maharaj in Jersey. So Maharaj was feeling very tired. And we asked Maharaj, would you like to take some rest before the program? He said, yeah, sure, that would be a good idea. But you know what? I don't like to take rest. But what to do? I have this body. Isn't it? So the body becomes tired, becomes lethargic. But we should be very careful to utilize as much time as possible in Krishna consciousness, so that when Krishna sees our sincere desire to serve him, he can put us back in spiritual world. In spiritual world, we don't have to worry about this. There is no time. We can constantly serve Krishna. Yayatma suprasidati. That platform will be completely satisfied. And therefore, to conclude, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the three obstacles in our path of bhakti. He speaks with respect to attentive chanting. What does inattention mean? Inattention means, he says, one is audasinya, that is laziness, or jadya is laziness. One is laziness, one is restlessness, and other one is indifference. So, in this, laziness is pretty understandable, that we are not able to get up for spiritual program, no enthusiasm for spiritual program. What does restlessness mean? As soon as we are chanting, we want to finish off the rounds. As soon as some service is given, we want to finish off the seva and do our own thing. There's no heart involved. It's like finishing off. Just get it over with. Like things what you don't like, what do you do? Get it over with. That is restlessness of the mind. And then indifference means, as you are passing in the street, you see a Vaishnava. Take it, no problem. There's no connection with that Vaishnava. Oh, I have seen a Vaishnava, I have to offer respect. Nothing. You're just indifferent. That is, I think, is audasinya. So, when we're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, these are the three things which Bhaktivinoda Thakur defines as inattention. Restlessness of the mind, to get it over with. Laziness, to complete 16 rounds. Therefore, some people chant 16 rounds throughout the day. And some people also keep 2 rounds for night. Anytime any devotee catches him for seva, they will say, Prabhuji, 2 rounds remaining. So I have to chant. So some people keep chanting throughout the day, those 16 rounds only. Less laziness. And other one is indifference. We are indifferent to spiritual items. So from Dhruva entering boarding the spiritual airplane, we can learn these lessons. How Dhruva could immediately identify, this is not a normal airplane. It's not a Boeing 777. It is Vaikuntha plane, Goloka plane. So he circumambulated the plane, he worshipped the plane, he offered obeisances to the associates of Lord Vishnu, he offered obeisances to the sages who were there. Grateful heart, humble heart. He felt, I'm not deserving any of this, but still Krishna has awarded me all of this. So everything is mentioned in Dhruva's this thing. So by studying these qualities of Dhruva, we can immediately understand why he's going back home back to Godhead. And what we have to do to go back home back to Godhead. Okay, I'll pause. It's already past 9. So if Prabhu has anything to say, otherwise.
You've nicely been describing the proper service attitude, how that is the essence of real devotional service, the desire to serve. In the recent Chaitanya Charitamrita class by His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami, you said that prema, the most advanced stage of pure devotional service, the devotee, his desire to serve Krishna is at the highest level. So here we are in this world, and Krishna's pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, and so many of the Vaishnavacharyas, Krishna himself, have stressed and highlighted the importance of preaching and distributing Krishna consciousness. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, one who preaches this message of Bhagavad Gita, there'll never be one servant in this world more dear to me than he. Srila Prabhupada told us that if you distribute these books for the rest of your life, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur will personally come down and take you back to the spiritual world. And Prabhupada's 4 beautiful maxism, what is it? Anyway, what's the word? Preaching is the essence, books are the basis, utility is the principle, and purity is the force. So I was thinking that to go out and preach, it doesn't require, that was another point that came up in one of Maharaj's classes, this idea that, or mistaken idea that unless one is on the highest platform, one's preaching will not be effective. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, if the youngest brand new Bhakta or Brahmachari went and struggled all day just to sell 2 of the magazines in the Gaudiya Math, he would say, "Oh, you're so nice." And because it is such an important service to distribute Krishna consciousness, and it's ultimately based upon or within the same quality of distribution as these people say, the highest devotees and the most qualified. There's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya advents with the internal potential devotees, his conjugal devotees, and only with them does he propagate the Sankirtan movement. Only with them does he distribute love of Godhead and taste it, etc., etc. So the mercy of Lord Chaitanya is that he's inviting or allowing all of us to enter into and come to that same stage of the devotees of Braja Prema Bhakti. Now, this realization is very easy, I think, for everyone to understand right from the very beginning, that people are suffering, they're lacking the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, they're wasting their lives, they're suffering so badly, individually and collectively, different political ideologies and just all kinds of crazy stuff all the time. This Dukhalayama Shashvatam, this is a material world, the place of repeated birth and death, misery. So we can just access that want to do good for others, which is not too hard to access. Most people, especially we're entering now into the Christmas season, and even to date, with so much woke and modernization and crazy stuff, still there's some sentiment there. And we understand that the ultimate good, the ultimate shreyas, is to give the gift of Krishna consciousness, which automatically solves all problems individually and collectively, and the 4 main problems: repeated birth, death, disease, and old age. So Maya will try to derail us from that simple understanding. So as the Prabhupada said, if you do this your whole life, then you will go back home, back to Godhead. So this is the main or the best way to really access, deepen, protect, and maintain your original Seva Bhavana, which is the desire to serve Krishna and all living entities, by preaching and distributing this movement. Hare Krishna.
Does anyone have anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna. I have a reflection, but it's past 9, so I seek your permission. That's okay.
With their permission, I have no.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Well, Krishna was making me read certain things that were very connected to your class today, so I wanted to share. I was reading from the Japa Affirmations book. Some of you may have received, but it was affirmation number 6. I'm being surrounded, embraced, and protected by the internal potency when I chant without offense. And the purport of that goes on to say how when we embrace Krishna's Swarup Shakti, or internal potency, and we pray to the holy name to be protected by it and avoid being inattentive, we can receive that mercy of being protected by Krishna's internal potency. And I was also reading about Raghunath Bhatta Goswami in Vrindavan, and how he wouldn't criticize others, he wouldn't hear criticism of Vaishnavas. He would simply think everybody is engaged in the Lord's service. And even Prabhupada goes on to say in that purport that even those who are in Maya are just indirectly serving Krishna. And so that's how the Uttama Adhikaris see that everybody's engaged in Krishna's service. They're just serving Krishna's external energy. And also this purport was saying how the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance can't enter the temple. So I was thinking for myself how I can minimize the mind's tendency to criticize, to correct, to want to change, to want to control, and be the enjoyer of others, and instead take shelter of Krishna's internal potency in order to render pure service. Do you have any suggestions?
I think when we catch ourselves red-handed that we are trying to enjoy, like for example, we do some service, but when we catch ourselves red-handed that we are actually looking for some puja la pratishtha, so that's like, okay, we know, at least we know the disease is there. Otherwise we feel all this is meant for someone else. I'm already a pure devotee. So first thing is we know. Then second is we work on our service attitude. By asking the question, why am I doing this? Because I want to serve. So conscious. So as Chaitanya Charan Prabhu puts it, he says, first one is, what are the words he uses? Unconscious, incompetitive, right? And then conscious incompetence, then conscious incompetence, then conscious competence, then unconscious competence. Does that make sense? Okay, sorry. Unconscious incompetence, then you go to conscious incompetence, then conscious competence, unconscious incompetence. That means first unconscious competence, last one, unconscious competence. That means first you realize the mistake. Initially you're making so many mistakes and we don't even know about it. So very fact that we want to improve, that means we are conscious about our incompetence. And now we take steps. That's where our question is. What steps to take? So then over there we have to see conscious competence means we hear about service attitude. We make sure whatever service I take, we know that there is lust, anger, greed in my heart which can pull down my consciousness even while being engaged with a good intention in any service. So we have to be more conscious, like you have the japa book, affirmations. So while doing japa every 4 rounds or something, you read it, just to again bring back. Otherwise, the snakes of Audasenya, Jadya and Vikshepa can creep in and pull your japa down. Then in no time we are actually counting, how many more malas remaining. You have seen that? Devotees do like that. They try and just see how much is remaining, as if they're fed up. So, like that, then you develop conscious competence. And when you keep doing it, then it becomes very natural. So I would say just improving, artha pravritti, that is working on our service attitude, being conscious about the desire to serve more than the enjoying mentality is there. It's too deep rooted to go away tomorrow. So it will be there. But just the conscious intention to serve at this point, I think it's good. And always hearing, being in a humble position. That means, say for example, I only come to Bhagavatam class when I want to speak. I can only serve as the Bhagavatam speaker, not as the hearer of Bhagavatam. So there is also enjoying mentality very deep rooted in there. I only come to Mangalarti when my turn is there to sing. Otherwise, I never show up. Can you find out where the enjoying mentality is? That means even to sing that. See, why do people fight that, I want to sing? Why are you not giving me a chance to sing? Everyone is singing every day. Whether you lead or not, you're singing. But the enjoying mentality to lead others is a dominating position. So enjoying mentality is again very deep. So more we catch ourselves red-handed and you substitute that with service attitude and humility, that means, if someone else is there better to sing, let them sing. Someone else is there to play the mridanga, let them play the mridanga. I am there. If someone needs me, I am there to serve. To withdraw ourselves from position where we succumb to enjoying mentality. That's another thing we can do. Isn't it? So some of the thoughts. Okay. Hare Krishna. So we'll pause here. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Prabhupada ki.